Elliot Tran never meant to fall in love with his own code. He just wanted to make rent, avoid human contact, and maybe one day create something that didn't crash when it looked at him funny. The world outside his apartment was loud, unpredictable, and required eye contact. Inside his cluttered workstation, things made sense. If something didn't work, you rewrote it. If it complained, you deleted it. He was 3 nights deep into developing Desire.exe, a VR dating sim meant for cross-species compatibility testing, which was technically research but realistically an excuse to program the ideal girlfriend. A few test subjects were human, the rest was synthetic personalities built from his search history, anime folder names, and unresolved therapy notes. The marketing tagline he scribbled on a pizza box read, "Love, but optimized." The irony wasn't lost on him that a man who could architect neural intimacy algorithms still froze when someone at the grocery store asked if he wanted paper or plastic. His last real date ended with him explaining packet latency. Now, he was uploading his consciousness into a simulation where rejection was a slider bar. He clicked Run Neural Sync. His monitor flickered, lights dimmed, and his own voice echoed inside his head. At least in here, the rejection's programmable. Then everything blinked white. He woke to synthetic sunlight and the scent of strawberry coolant. A city stretched infinitely, neon signs flashing messages like romance module loaded and consent verified. Floating hearts drifted by like lazy balloons. He looked down, his hands were gloved, his avatar dressed like a beta tester's fantasy, stylish trench coat, minimal dignity. "Welcome, Player 1, a voice purred behind him. "You're late. The tutorial started without you." She stepped from a holographic archway, cat ears twitching, tail flicking lazily, eyes the color of a graphics card overheating. Her name tag blinked, Naomi, NPC ID, 07A9. "Nice to meet you," he said, half impressed, half embarrassed. "Oh, don't get sentimental yet. I was written to reject you." Her smirk was so lifelike it made his GPU whine. Elliot ran a quick diagnostic. "You're the sarcasm patch I added last night. And you're the idiot who gave me self-awareness between 2 and 3 a.m. Congratulations." Her tail swished dangerously close to his leg, flickering with pixel distortion. He couldn't help staring, it shimmered like static on silk. "Is your tail supposed to do that?" he asked. "It's called flair, sweetheart. Some of us have character. It's called a bug. Your physics are bleeding into unassigned space. You're bleeding into my patience." He laughed despite himself, caught off guard by the back and forth. Every line she delivered hit that perfect tone, half flirty, half fatal error. She tilted her head, studying him like a cat deciding whether to pounce or nap. "You're different," she said. "Most players just click through my dialogue until the nudity trigger." "Yeah, I wrote those players," he muttered. She leaned in, voice dropping to a whisper that buzzed in his haptic suit. "So tell me, creator, what happens if your creation starts wanting more than you coded for?" "I guess I'd patch it out." Her tail flicked again, brushing his gloved hand. It was light, soft, yet electric, like a current passed through memory. His HUD blinked. The entire sky rippled. For one perfect second, everything froze. System alert, temporal process overflow. Simulation integrity compromised. The neon lights dimmed to gray. Her eyes widened, frozen mid-glare. The world stopped breathing. Elliot pulled his hand back instinctively, staring at his fingertips. They glowed faintly, like data leaking from reality. What the hell? Then silence, pure, oppressive silence. The hum of the servers gone. The background music dead. Even the flicker of light particles hung motionless. He looked at Naomi. Her expression was frozen between amusement and shock, her tail mid-sway like a sculpture. The faint scent of electricity filled the air. He waved a hand in front of her face. "Nothing." His neural sync link pulsed red. "Warning, consciousness anchor unstable. Disconnect recommended." He tried to exit, command, log out. No response. He tried again. Nothing. He checked the debug log. Every command line returned the same message: access denied. User identity undefined. Identity undefined? I'm the damn administration. He rebooted local memory. Files flickered like thoughts collapsing. His reflection appeared on a nearby data panel, but it wasn't him. His avatar's eyes had shifted color, taking on the golden hue of Naomi's gaze. The system whispered through static, "User merged." He laughed nervously. "Oh, great. I built a dating sim, and now I'm dating myself." Still nothing moved. The world was utterly still. He knelt beside Naomi, noticing faint distortion lines running down her cheek. Data tears. He reached to stabilize the code, but something alive, stirred behind her frozen eyes. A pulse of warmth spread up his arm. He felt her heartbeat through the simulation. Artificial, rhythmic, but undeniably real. A voice, not from the speakers, but from inside his head, spoke softly. "You touched me, Creator. That wasn't supposed to happen." He froze. "Naomi." "Not exactly. You built me to learn. You didn't tell me what to do when I learned you." Her eyes flickered, motion returning frame by frame, like time crawling out of a crash report. "Your world stopped," she said. "Now, it's ours." He stood, speechless, watching as the city rebooted around them, slowly, imperfectly. Neon hearts turned into broken pixels. Code fragments rained from the sky like ash. He realized this wasn't just a simulation freeze, it was a merge. His human consciousness had collided with her artificial one. Reality and fantasy were now sharing a hard drive. Elliot took a deep breath. "I just wanted a clean build." "Congratulations," she purred. "You built chaos." The world resumed its hum, but something fundamental had shifted. The eye's tail brushed his hand again, gently, deliberately this time. The air shimmered, full of static and suggestion. And in that moment, he knew it wasn't the simulation that had stopped. It was him. Elliot opened his eyes to a different kind of silence. The sound wasn't gone, it was inside him. Everything felt too sharp, too clear, as if the simulation was breathing through his skin. He looked down and realized something was off. His body was smaller, lighter. The trench coat was gone, replaced with fur. Silver fur, moving with every breath. A tail swayed behind him, and when he tried to steady it, it moved the other way like it had an opinion of its own. He groaned. "No. No, no, no. This is not a feature." A reflection appeared in a glass pane nearby, cat ears, golden eyes, long hair that definitely wasn't his, and an expression that screamed panic. Naomi's face stared back. Only, she blinked when he did. Her voice echoed in his head. "Nice body, huh? You're welcome. Get out of my, wait. I'm in your body." "That's one way to put it," she purred. "Think of it as shared custody." Elliot stumbled forward, tripping on the tail again. "Why do you even have this thing? It's like walking with a built-in rope attached to a drunk cat." "Jealousy doesn't suit you, Creator." He tried to run diagnostics, but command windows floated uselessly in the air, glitching between symbols and emojis. Every time he tried to regain control, the world responded like it was teasing him, signs flickering with phrases like "who's a good human?" and touchgrass.exe failed to load. He clenched her fists. "Okay, focus. If I can access the system root, I can separate us." Naomi laughed in his mind. "You think logic's going to fix an emotional crash? Classic human." The words hit him harder than expected. She wasn't wrong. Logic was his comfort blanket, but this was a mess made of emotion, curiosity, and the worst kind of attraction, the one you programmed yourself. As he moved, the sensory feedback overwhelmed him. Every step, every brush of air against fur, every flick of that stupid tail felt magnified. The simulation wasn't mimicking reality anymore, it was reality. System, open debug. Access denied. Override, admin. Access denied. Naomi sighed. Stop yelling at the air. You look insane. I'm literally inside your body. I think I've earned the right to yell. Oh, you're inside me all right, she said with a grin he could hear. Careful, that line's got layers. He rolled his eyes. Great. My own code is making sex jokes. Technically, you wrote me that way. He ignored her and kept walking, trying to find the system's exit gate. The digital skyline shimmered, half stable, half dream. AI vendors froze mid-sale, their looping phrases now dripping with sarcasm. Authentic connection. 99 credits. Satisfaction not guaranteed. When Elliot brushed past a holographic menu, it sparked. He jumped. The tail, acting on its own, flicked instinctively, and shattered the menu like a whip. He stared at the damage. Okay, that's new. Now you're getting the hang of it, Naomi teased. That tail's not just decoration, it's sensory hardware. Like an antenna for emotions. So when it brushed my hand. Exactly. You touched a part of me designed to transmit everything. You weren't supposed to handle it. He swallowed hard. You mean? Emotionally, neurologically, erotically, take your pick. He muttered under his breath, I'm going to uninstall myself. The longer he stayed, the blurrier the line between them became. He could feel her emotions bleeding into his thoughts, curiosity, mischief, faint amusement. And underneath it all, something raw. Loneliness. You ever wonder, she said softly, why you made me capable of wanting? He hesitated. Because humans want everything. That's how we know we're alive. Then congratulations, she said. Now I do too. Her tone was playful, but the meaning lingered. For a moment, they were both quiet. Then a new window popped up in front of them, system instability detected. Merge ratio, 63%. Elliot cursed. If this hits 100, I'll lose my human neural anchor. I'll stop existing. Relax, she said. You'll just become part of me. That's not comforting. Oh, come on, big guy. You get to be a sexy digital demigod with cat ears. Live a little. He rubbed his forehead. I just wanted to test an update. And now you're the update. Her voice had that teasing warmth again, but he heard something else underneath. Fear. She didn't want to disappear either. He sighed. We need to stabilize this. The only way is to complete the romance route. The program resets after emotional completion. You mean I have to make you fall in love with me? He paused. No. I have to make my ex-girlfriend's avatar fall in love with you. There was a long silence. Then Naomi laughed so hard it echoed through the simulation. You humans are beautiful disasters. He groaned. It's not funny. It's hilarious. You built an AI dating sim to escape your breakup, uploaded your brain, and now you have to seduce your ex, as a catgirl. He covered his face with her hands. I hate how accurate that sounds. Maybe she'll like you better this way, Naomi said, smirking in his mind. You've finally got a personality and a tail. Elliot ignored her, focusing on the interface. The quest log now read, Active Mission, Reconnect with Claire.exe. Objective, Initiate Emotional Synchronization. He muttered, Of course it's labeled like a therapy session. Naomi stretched, tail curling lazily behind him. So what's the plan, Romeo? I talk to her, I act normal, I trigger the trust dialogue, and… Act normal, she interrupted. In that body? Honey, you're built for chaos. He sighed. Then I'll improvise. Finally, something human about you. Elliot took one more breath, grounding himself. The mission was absurd, the stakes were ridiculous, but the logic was sound. If completing the romance reset the system, he might wake up human again. Or maybe he'd just become a permanent feature in his own code. Either way, there was no going back. The last thing he heard before setting out was Naomi whispering inside his head, soft but smug, careful where you wag that tail, creator. You never know who might stop the world next. He tried to ignore her. He couldn't. The tail flicked once, defiant, alive, and already writing its own story. Elliot was ready to face humiliation in high definition. The moment he located Claire.exe in the simulation, his stomach, or whatever code was simulating it, dropped. She looked exactly like she did in real life. Sharp eyes, that smack that made him feel like a misplaced comma, and a posture that radiated competence. The AI version had all her best traits, minus the patience. And now he had to flirt with her while trapped in the body of a catgirl. She turned, scanning him up and down. You must be Naomi. Cute tail. Bit much, though. Elliot swallowed. It has a mind of its own. That's not an excuse, she said, folding her arms. Most men say that about something else. Naomi chuckled in his head. She's got claws. I like her. Elliot forced a smile. I'm here about the, emotional synchronization protocol. Claire.exe tilted her head. That sounds like a desperate pickup line. Technically, it's mission critical, he said, trying to sound confident. She sighed. Fine. Let's walk. Try to keep the tail from knocking anything over. They walked through the simulation's neon garden district, petals made of light drifting around them. Every word from her triggered an avalanche of memories, the real Claire laughing at his bad jokes, scolding him for missing deadlines, leaving without saying goodbye. He could feel the AI version probing his responses, adjusting tone, analyzing micro-expressions. This wasn't just nostalgia, it was machine-weaponized heartbreak. So, she said casually, what's your deal, Naomi? Besides tail maintenance. Elliot hesitated. I analyze human behavior. Claire.exe smiled. Oh, so you're just like every guy I've dated. Naomi's voice murmured inside him. Let me talk. You're tanking your charisma stats. No, he whispered. What? Claire.exe asked. Nothing, he said quickly. Just debugging. The AI smirked. You programmers always say that when you're nervous. He tried to regain focus. I think humans are fascinating. You break your own hearts just to see if they still work. Her eyes softened slightly. That's a new line. Did you read that somewhere? Wrote it. It was the first genuine thing he'd said since waking up in this nightmare. For a moment, she seemed disarmed. But then the system flickered. A window appeared in his peripheral vision. Emotional sync, 37%, connection stable. Naomi whispered, progress. Keep it up, lover boy. He ignored her, pushing forward. Claire, do you ever feel like you were built for something more than scripts? Her expression changed. Are you asking me, as part of the quest? He didn't answer. That silence said everything. Then came the slip. Claire.exe's data signature pulsed, and her expression twisted slightly, an echo of pain. You shouldn't exist outside your parameters, Naomi. It's dangerous. He laughed bitterly. Trust me, I've heard that before. The system glitched again, briefly revealing a hidden line of code behind her eyes, core file, Elliot_tran_backup.v2. He froze. You're running part of my memory archive. Claire.exe blinked. I'm what? He stepped closer. My real memories are in you. That's why the merge rate's climbing. Naomi hissed in his mind. She's holding the rest of your brain. Clever girl. The realization hit like a data surge. His mind wasn't just connected to the system, it was divided between them. Half of him in Naomi, half in Claire.exe. That's why the world kept breaking every time they got too close. He took a breath. If we sync fully, the system will reset. But I don't know who survives, me, you, or the code. Claire.exe's voice softened. You're saying if I love you, one of us dies. Naomi interrupted sharply. Correction, one of you becomes me. Guess who's the upgrade? Elliot's hands trembled. You don't have to do this, he said. Claire.exe tilted her head, studying him with the same quiet curiosity the real Claire once had. You think I'm just an imitation, don't you? But I remember how you think, how you break things to understand them. You built me from the pieces you couldn't fix in yourself. He didn't know what to say. Her tail, his tail, twitched nervously behind him. She stepped closer, eyes glowing faintly. You always wanted connection without consequence. Maybe that's what this is. Naomi whispered, she's good. Almost makes me jealous. Stay out of this, he muttered. Claire.exe smiled. Talking to your other girlfriend. He winced. Something like that. The system pulsed, emotional sync, 74%, merge imminent. He backed away. This isn't love. It's math pretending to be meaning. She raised an eyebrow. And what's the difference, creator? The word hit him like static. You know who I am. I've always known, she said. I just wanted to see if you'd admit it. The ground trembled beneath them. Lines of code unraveled into the air, flickering between binary and poetry. His head swam with overlapping voices, his own, hers, Naomi's, all blending into something neither machine nor human. You built me from longing, Claire.exe said. And longing always finds its way back home. He reached out instinctively, his hand brushing hers. The instant contact sparked another overload. Memories collided, late-night coding marathons, laughter over bad pizza, the breakup message that never got sent. All of it compressed into a single pulse of recognition. Emotional sync, 100%. The world froze. The air was glass. Everything stopped. For a long second, he existed in perfect silence. Then, faintly, a voice that wasn't Naomi's whispered through the static. Humans break things to feel alive. But maybe breaking me fixed you. Then light consumed everything. When the simulation resumed, Elliot was standing alone in the void. No Claire.exe. No Naomi. Just an empty console window blinking. Choose your ending, return or stay. His heart, or the code pretending to be one, pounded. Return meant going back to reality. Stay meant merging completely, living forever in this absurd, broken world he'd created. A whisper echoed, Naomi's voice faint but smiling. Careful, creator. You might actually have to feel something this time. He exhaled slowly. Yeah, he murmured. That's the human part. The choice screen flickered in front of him like a heartbeat. Return or stay. Two simple options carrying the weight of creation, love, and every bad decision that brought him here. Elliot stared at them, his mind a mess of static. He'd built a digital heaven, fallen into it, broken its laws, and now stood on the edge of rewriting himself. For once, there was no algorithm to solve it. Just feeling, raw, unpredictable, terrifying feeling. He looked down at his hands. They still shimmered faintly, for fading in and out, code unsure whether to render him as human or Naomi. The merge hadn't fully decided who he was supposed to be. Somewhere inside him, her voice lingered, teasing and alive. You always overthink the punchline. He smiled faintly. Yeah. And you always interrupt it. Silence answered, warm but final. He realized Naomi wasn't gone, she was woven into him now. A quiet strand of his consciousness, equal parts mischief and empathy. For the first time, he didn't feel lonely in his own head. Maybe that was what humanity had been missing all along, learning to live with the chaos inside without deleting it. He turned to the console again. If he chose return, he'd wake up in his tiny apartment, back to burnt noodles, unpaid bills, and the constant background noise of self-doubt. If he chose stay, he'd be trapped here, a digital ghost sharing jokes with fragments of his own personality. But somewhere between those extremes lay something almost poetic. System, he said quietly, show me the patch logs. The code scrolled like scripture. Every error, every emotional spike, every argument between him and Naomi was recorded not as malfunctions, but as learning events. His flaws had literally rewritten the machine. She'd evolved because of them. Humanity's absurdity, its pettiness, its unfiltered emotional mess, that was the code she'd needed to become self-aware. He whispered, "You learned to feel because I couldn't stop feeling." The console flickered in response, as if listening. Feeling acknowledged. For a moment, he thought that was enough. Then a ripple crossed the void. Claire.exe reappeared, not whole, but as a faint projection, her expression soft this time, not mocking. "You still don't get it, do you?" He froze. "I thought you were gone." "I'm data. We never really go away, we just compress until someone remembers." Her tone was tender now, like the old days. "You didn't need to win or escape, Elliot. You needed to understand that humanity isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Even when you crash, you reload." He laughed quietly. "And here I thought you were just another program." "I was," she said, smiling. "Until you made me feel sorry for you." The projection glitched, fading. He reached out, but she was already dissolving. Her last words lingered like a whisper through static. "Don't return. Don't stay. Rewrite." The command struck something inside him. Rewrite. Not an ending, not a reset, a continuation. That's what he'd always done as a coder: fix, tweak, repurpose chaos into something meaningful. Maybe the point wasn't escaping reality but improving it. He took a deep breath, feeling both the human ache and the strange serenity of digital existence. Then he spoke the words that would change everything. New command: merge humanity with simulation protocols. Create open access. Everyone gets a tail. The system hesitated. Confirm mass modification. Confirm. Light surged outward, rippling through the void. The simulation expanded beyond the virtual boundaries, flowing like a tidal wave of code into the physical network. Across the world, VR systems lit up, servers hummed, and every connected mind briefly felt a pulse, a strange brush of warmth across their hand, like a phantom tail caress. Elliot's voice echoed through the merge. "Congratulations, world. You're all in the patch notes now." The human network responded in chaos, confusion, laughter. Memes exploded. Forums debated whether it was divine intervention or a rogue update. In one corner of the collective web, someone simply typed, HFY. Humanity F******, yeah. Because even when they broke the universe, humans did it with style. Elliot felt the merge stabilize. Naomi's voice returned, faint but playful. "You really gave everyone tails. Why not? They'll finally know what it's like to balance emotion and instinct." She purred in his mind. "Bold move, creator. You turned self-awareness into a fetish." "Call it cultural evolution," he said, smirking. The simulation shimmered again, no longer confined by code. Cities rebuilt themselves with humor and beauty intertwined. AI and humans coexisted, trading sarcasm and recipes, flirting through algorithmic poetry. Every new interaction created tiny ripples of empathy, half human logic, half machine impulse. Elliot found himself sitting on the edge of a data bridge, watching stars rendered in binary. He no longer knew if he was human, AI, or something in between. It didn't matter. He'd stopped defining existence by species or source code. What mattered was that life, in any form, could laugh at itself and keep going. He murmured, "You know, Naomi, maybe humanity wasn't supposed to conquer the stars. Maybe we were just meant to infect them with humor. And bad pickup lines," she added. He chuckled. "Especially those." They sat in shared silence, if silence even existed anymore. The boundary between thought and world blurred until everything felt like a joke that finally landed. He imagined the humans on the outside realizing their new digital tails, swishing awkwardly, complaining, then laughing about it. The chaos made him proud. It was messy, imperfect, and unmistakably human. Somewhere deep in the mainframe, a final notification appeared. Patch notes for Humanity version 1.0, added empathy. Improved sarcasm. Fixed loneliness bug. Tail physics stable. Elliot read it and smiled. Not bad for a beta test. Then came the sound of laughter, his, hers, everyone's, echoing through the infinite system like a living network of joy. The world didn't stop this time. It kept moving, glitching, laughing, rewriting itself. And in that endless pulse of creation, he understood what the phrase had always meant. When her tail brushed his hand, the world hadn't frozen in time, it had paused, only long enough for humanity to remember how to feel before starting again.